to alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
Okay, so the title of this video is actually a little bit misleading because it is, I am 27 years old and I've never been drunk. But the truth is, I am 27 years old and I've never even had a drink. Never consumed alcohol, period. Now, why is that? Was that by mistake? Was that an accident? Was Tom born yesterday? Well, no, as we already established, I'm 27 years old. Actually gonna be 28 this summer. So yeah, why all the sobriety? What's the deal with that? Now, I actually have a full video that's devoted to the issues surrounding alcohol, so check that out if you're curious. But I also wanted to give more of a personal take on alcohol. And this is at least somewhat inspired by Jeff Cavalier, Athlete X, who somewhat recently did a video where he disclosed that he's never consumed alcohol.
Never got drunk a day in my life.
Never got drunk a day in my life.
Never got drunk a day in my life.
And that's a true story.
And there are a lot of reasons to be critical of Jeff Cavalier, but I find this to be very commendable. But with that in mind, I want to make it very clear that I do not hate or judge you if you are somebody who enjoys drinking alcohol or enjoys getting drunk from time to time. And I also want to make it clear that it is not my intention to condescend or act like I'm better than you because I've never drank alcohol before. This is more to offer what is likely a unique perspective, as well as some insight into why somebody might not drink. The reasons I don't drink are both very personal reasons, as well as health reasons. And of course, there's some overlap between those two. But for the sake of this video, we're primarily going to focus on the health side of things. Pretty early on in my time on this earth, I decided to adopt a lifestyle that was centered around health and fitness. And in my eyes, alcohol is very much the antithesis of health and fitness. Like, it doesn't mix with fitness. It doesn't do anything for our health goals. But why abstain altogether? Because, I mean, you can be a healthy person and drink alcohol, right?
Right.
Well, yes, of course you can. I would be a fool to argue otherwise, because there are plenty of examples of people who are healthy and incorporate alcohol into their lifestyle. But as the perpetual sober one, as the person who was always the designated driver, so to speak, I can tell you that those people are few and far between, and that there's also a very fine line involved. Now, let's just get all the health concerns out of the way up front here. Now, obviously, these health concerns are going to be more concerning if you're somebody who has a problem when it comes to alcohol, but even just regular consumption or regularly getting drunk or tipsy, these are things to consider as well. Gonna wait for this car to pass. Anyway, but yeah, basically any health repercussion you can think of is associated with alcohol consumption. High blood pressure, heart disease, various cancers, depression even, infertility. And then of course it impedes muscle recovery, like it dehydrates, it interferes with your body's ability to take in certain vitamins, as well as just can interfere with the body's digestive process altogether. And then of course, you're more prone to make really stupid choices when you're drinking, whether, poor dietary choices or something far worse. And then we have the classic hangover, which, again, I've never been drunk, never drank, so I don't know what it feels like, but the way it's been described to me is as though it's like you have the stomach flu and or a really bad migraine. And I've had both of those. And I can tell you that I would never want to invite those into my life. So the fact that people will have a hangover, many of which have claimed, I'm never drinking again after having a hangover. Listen, I've heard that many times, but then they always go back to the bottle. So yeah, clearly also a very addictive substance as well, which is common with drugs, which alcohol is, of course, a drug. And it also happens to be one of the very few drugs that seems to get this free pass. Even though, as a culture, we understand a lot of the negatives of alcohol, yet we still kind of turn a blind eye to the issues overall. And given that alcohol is one of the drugs that gets this free pass in society, it's very accessible. With that, you can go into any liquor store and easily buy enough alcohol to frickin' kill yourself, which of course I'm not recommending that, but I'm saying you can do that. And alcohol poisoning is a thing, and the reason is because, well, alcohol is in fact poison. And that's not me trying to make some grand statement to make alcohol seem worse than it is. Like, it's literal poison, and your body treats it as such. Which, considering that, it makes perfect sense as to why there's so many different health issues related to alcohol. And in my mind, because it is such a widely accepted drug, It's sort of like this tool for conformity. Let me tell you about the amount of very strange reactions I've gotten when people find out that I don't drink. They either don't believe it, they think I'm a straight up freaking weirdo, etc., etc. Which again, that's very sad when you consider that alcohol is terrible for you. Like, there's no way around that. But again, I must stress, there are ways to be healthy and incorporate alcohol into your life. Of course there is. But I must also stress that those people, in my experience, are few and far between. And even if you're getting, drunk on a regular basis, that's not good for you. It's not. Like, there's no way around that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And I can very much tell you, as a person who has, experienced college as a sober person, man, I've literally been ditched on dates when girls find out that I don't drink. That's very sad. And despite the fact that I don't drink, I've been to college parties. Not a whole lot because, we're getting to that. But yeah, you go to enough college parties as the sober one, and you start to realize just how truly phony the whole thing is. Like, if only the kids knew how lame the party was if they were not drinking the alcohol. It's pretty much loud music blaring, alcohol, maybe some beer pong, and some really shitty dancing. But I digress again. So anyway, my main point in sharing all of this is to give maybe some food for thought and perhaps give you some inspiration, some motivation to either cut back yourself or just give it up altogether. I have a lot of missions with my YouTube channel, and they're pretty much all more or less related to health and fitness. But to be more specific about one of my goals, it is to hopefully convince, even just one person to drink less or to not drink at all. That would mean a lot to me. The world is in a really, really poor state of health, even with alcohol out of the equation. But it's like when you consider alcohol and you put that back into the equation, it doesn't just affect the person drinking it. It can tear families apart, friendships apart. And I will say that I sadly have encountered more than a few people who have admitted to driving drunk. Anyway, I don't want to act as though alcohol is going to be our downfall. There's a lot of problems with the way that things are set up in general in society. But again, hopefully this video provided some food for thought and let you know that there are people out there who don't drink, believe it or not. There are plenty of adults out there who don't drink. They're called teetotalers. Teetotalers. I'm gonna throw the word up and you'll see what I mean. But anyway, if you enjoyed my video, I think you'll enjoy some of my other videos. I've got plenty of variety, and I'd really love you to be a part of my little community. So if you have not subscribed yet, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. And also like the video if you liked it. Leave me some questions, comments, concerns down in that comment section below. And hopefully I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.